Good evening. Welcome to Monday Night Live, Real Estate Call-In Show with Coach Mike. I'm your host, Rick Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I urge you to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Prime Real Estate Rick. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our great city of Houston, please reach out to me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Rick. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you this week doing the show. It's every week here at 7 p.m. Central, Monday nights. We'll answer all of your real estate questions. And I invite everyone, record yourself asking a question and submit it to the Monday Night Live Real Estate text line at the number you see on the screen. We'll review the questions and hopefully get to all of your questions live on the show every week. My co-host that'll be sitting in with me every week here answering your questions is not only a Texas real estate broker, but he is the co-founder of Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. He is known throughout our office affectionately as Coach Mike. I want to welcome to the show, Mr. Michael G. Davis. How are you?
Woo! What's going on, Rick? Man, excited to be here another Monday night. We are going live on Mondays. What's going on, Prime Real Estate, Rick? How you been?
Oh, man, it's great, man. Thank you for sitting in, man. The response that we received from last week's episode was overwhelming. That's why I'm so filled with joy to be here with us this week. Man, what's been going on, Mike? What's been going on in the world of Coach Mike and everything at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm for the audience?
Man, we've been staying busy, man. Rick, you know we do about 5 to 8 events every week. So last week, man, we had a phenomenal social media training. We brought in the co-founder, Mr. LarryWBrooks, guru, and he gave some great nuggets as it related to social media and get going. We also had an orientation, man, brought in 2 new agents. They're excited. They're on fire, ready to get going. And then I think we finished the week off with our study hall, man, with our affiliate members. They come together, got a couple of affiliate members preparing for the exam. So we was able to answer some exam questions, man, and really get it rocking and rolling. So, man, we had a great busy week as always, brother.
I want to invite everyone to interact with tonight's show at the Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm Facebook page. We have a really great live chat that goes on every week during the show. And I invite everyone, submit your questions, comments, interact, get involved, because this show is for you, put on by us. So as always, Mike, man, we have some really cool questions lined up, man, some really hard-hitting questions that I think can get to the essence of what's going on in real estate today and help professionals out a lot. So if you don't mind, man, let's get to the action.
This is Jamal from North
Absolutely,
Houston,
let's do it.
I got a question for Coach Mike. So my question would be, as far as dealing with somebody with a military, they're in the military, or their process different on their end, or is it the same for us as well when it comes to dealing with the military?
All right. So Rick, man, looks like it sounds like for people that are in the military, is the process different for them than it is for, I guess, people that are not in the military. So I won't necessarily say that the process is different. I feel like people in the military, they have benefits, right? Because they offered their service to the country to protect our freedoms. So they deserve things such as the VA benefit. And, you know, even the Texas Land Board in the city in the great state of Texas. That offers them benefits, like the VA offers them a no down payment option for them to purchase a home. The Veterans Land Board offers them a no down payment in the state of Texas, not just to buy a house, but to buy land or whatever they want as it relates to real estate. So is the process different? Not necessarily, because, look, they still got to go talk to a lender, right? Yeah, the lender just has to be approved by they have to be approved by to do VA loans. So not every lender can do VA loans. As a realtor, you should know who can and who cannot actually who's not certified to do VA, and VA stands for Veteran Affairs, Department of Veteran Affairs. So if you all didn't know that, but you got to make sure the lender is certified to do that. What I do know, Rick, is that when going with the VA loan, that loan product is a little different. It has a different requirement for the seller in many instances. Sometimes the seller has to contribute more money. So the seller may not be willing to do it. They may be willing to do it. I know that's a little contingency that they have. I know there's a document that people in the military receive that they have to actually present to the lender, to the underwriter, for them to qualify to get that VA product. But for the most part, man, the process is pretty much identical when working with VA loans. I know the VA inspector or the VA appraisal is a little different. So it's not like big differences, Rick. It's just like little nuances in between, but they're real easy to understand, real easy to learn. And I think the biggest part is just partnering with a lender that is familiar with the VA process and the VA process, because that's where the biggest differences are.
I agree
right
totally.
there.
And that what brings to point the importance of having an experienced agent working with you, a realtor that has lenders with those type of connections that are well versed in taking care of veterans and doing loans or VA loans that you mentioned. And it's really thought-provoking that you bring up the fact that every lender does not offer those type of programs, which just once again brings to light how important it is who you're working with as a realtor, and to go someone experienced with not only working with veterans, but also making sure that the process is seamless.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That was a great answer, man. I hope that answers your question, caller. Let's get to our next question, Coach Mike.
Awesome.
Hi, this is Shay. My question for Mr. Davis is, how lucrative is the real estate industry?
Man, how lucrative.
Interesting. Interesting question.
Hey, look, man. You know, it's interesting, Rick. The sky's the limit, right? Like there really is no limit to the amount of money that you can make being a realtor. I mean, check this out, Rick. There are realtors out here, man, that make more money than doctors. They make more money than attorneys, right? These occupations that require a lot of student loans and a lot of time to be in school, man, there are realtors out here that are making more money than them. Because think about it. Somebody's selling the doctor the house, right? So if he buying $2-3 million house, realtor making 3%, you know, that's 100,000. You do a couple of them. Come on, man. We can kill those professions. And I don't think a lot of people understand the threshold as it relates to being a realtor. But here's the thing, though, Rick. Does everybody make it to that plateau? The answer is no, man. A lot of people, they don't make it there. And the reason that they don't make it there is because, yeah, you have the capabilities of, you know, eclipsing and making money like those professions. But guess what? Just like they put in the work when they was in school, you know, they had to prepare for the bar. They have residencies. They have these things prepares them. The work is on the front end. And then once they get that doctor's license, now they can command whatever that salary is. Whereas a realtor, you got to put in work on the front end as well. You got to build those relationships. You have to sharpen your craft. You have to approach this business with a level of assertiveness to say, you know what, I'm going to be the best at what I do. I'm going to find my niche, carve my area, and I'm going to become an expert in that area. I really believe, Rick, you know, when you have the right personality and you're willing to put in the work, especially if you're connected to a brokerage firm like Brooks and Davis, that we're going to give you the guidance. We're going to give you the support. If you're willing to put in the work and take action and do it, man, it's so much money that can be made. Look, you look at Bravo, you know, I used to look at the $1 million listing and I used to check it out. And People be like, man, that's so Hollywood. Look, they're not making that stuff up. These cats out there making that kind of money, and they making a killing at being in real estate. And Rick, sometimes people feel like, oh, well, I gotta sell the $1 million listings. They feel like if I can't tap into that market, or I don't know anybody at that level, then I can't make that kind of money. Look, you can. Look, I know people making north of 150,000 a year, 200,000 a year, working with affordable housing, selling people $150,000 houses, selling people $200,000 houses. The only difference is you just got to do more of it. You got to do volume, right? You got to understand systems. You got to begin to scale. But Rick, it's easy to make $150,000 as a realtor, bro. What you think?
One of the things about, to speak to your point about training and education, because I know at Brooks and Davis, one of the first things that we do when we're meeting with new agents or aspiring agents or affiliates is to talk to them about what their financial goals are for themselves. Because once you know what someone wants for themselves in their future, we can teach you how to scale your business to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. If it's versus volume, like you speak of, or tapping into certain market segments, like you talked about earlier. It's all about what you see in your mind's eye, because if you can dream it, you can achieve it. So I agree totally.
Rick, you just got to approach it with the right mindset.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you
got to approach it with the right mindset, Rick. And every day that you wake up, you got to decide that I'm going in 157 miles an hour. I'm going in, I'm all in, right? To whatever is required, whatever I need to do, I'm going to do it. I'm going to read books. I'm going to attend networking events. I'm going to look at webinars. If you're a member of Brooks and Davis, like I said earlier, we do 5 to 8 events per week. I'm going to participate in what my brokerage has going on. I'm just going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to envision myself living that kind of life that I want to live. I'm going to believe enough in myself that I can achieve these thresholds. Look, you got to surround yourself with the right kind of people. You got to surround yourself looking at the right kind of images, right? If you imagine yourself driving certain cars, you need to look at those cars. You need to drive those cars. You imagine yourself. We're in real estate. We can get in any house we want to get into. You imagine yourself living in mansions or luxury homes. Go in there. Go to those open houses. Go visit those houses to create that mind's eye that Rick is talking about that'll motivate you to be able to reach those thresholds. I just want people to know, Rick, that as a realtor, you can be a millionaire as a realtor, not as a real estate broker, not owning a real estate company. I'm talking about you selling, working with buyers, working with sellers, can make north of $1 million in this business, Rick. A lot of people don't know that.
And I hope, caller, that does everything to not only get you excited about the real estate industry as a whole, but I hope it did a great job of answering your question as far as how lucrative the real estate industry can be. Great answer, Coach Mike. And if you're ready, we can go to our third question.
Absolutely. Let's answer another one.
Is there a particular software that you would recommend for tracking your expenses?
All right. So it looks like this caller wanted to know about softwares that we can use for tracking expenses. All right. So now, Rick, we know that there are a lot of CRMs, digital softwares that people are using, QuickBooks and some of these other robust softwares. I've always subscribed to the simple, right? Tony Robbins, I'm a fan of Tony Robbins. I've been trained and coached through his camp. And one of the things that he says is complexity is the enemy of execution. I'm going to say it again. Complexity is the enemy of execution. And if I don't know nothing, what I do know, Rick, by being a chemical engineer, I know how to make stuff complex.
Right.
And when I first got into this business, I was bringing that complexity with me into real estate. And when you talk about overthinking that bad boy, I was overthinking it, Rick, all day. So when the caller asked about software for tracking expenses, I again revert back to keep it simple. Man, an Excel spreadsheet, Rick, oh man, it works wonders of being able to stop of what you spending and what you making. That's what I use right now. I use an Excel spreadsheet, one of the Google Sheets, and again, I have the luxury, of being an engineer, so they definitely taught us how to make spreadsheets. So I can put together a real nice, I can put together a real fly spreadsheet. So I really would say, man, yeah, there's plenty of softwares out there, but at the end of the day, I would definitely start off simple. And you may be able to just stay there like me. Like, I'm good with the spreadsheet. Like, I don't need to get anything fancy. But if you want to evolve into something more robust, then I say do it after you already kind of gotten your pattern. Because I think what's more important than the software, Rick, I think what's more important than the software is your habit of how you manage your money, right? Because I could have this software tracking my expenses, but if I only look at it once a month, if I look at it once a quarter, then it's not doing nothing for you, right? I had to get into the habit of, Rick, looking at my stuff every week. Now, you would think that's something that we've been doing for years. Rick, I've been licensed for 17 years. I've been a broker for 15 years. We've Brooks and Davis, 13 years. We celebrated 13 years this year. And you would think as a personal, as a business, that we always been looking at our expenses like that. Rick, I promise you, we just started it maybe 2 years ago. We realized the error in our ways. And once you start looking at your expenses at least once a week, once every 7 days, once you create that habit, you're going to start seeing stuff was falling out the cracks. You start seeing crumbs. You're like, man, I could have sworn I had more money. Where all this money went? Once you start tracking it, once you track it and you pay attention to it on a weekly basis, then that's when you're going to really get a hold of your money. Like, we hear the terms money management, right? We hear the term money management, but I don't think a lot of us really understand what we mean by managing your money, right? If you're only looking at what you made and what you spent, you're only looking at that once a month or once every other month, you're not managing your money. You're just kind of letting it manage itself. So the first thing that I would really focus on, Rick, is not necessarily the software that you're using to track your expenses. It would be the habit. Create that habit of paying attention to what you're spending your money on. Every week asking yourself, all right, what did we spend our money on last week? How much money did we make last week? All right. And then begin to forecast, because that was another thing that a lot of us don't do, Rick. We don't forecast what is expected in the future. And I'm not saying we got to forecast months, years, whatever. I'm saying just the next week. What bills are you going to have to pay for the next week? How much anticipated revenue do you foresee coming in the next 7 days? And when you begin to operate within that 14-day window, right? The last 7 days, the next 7 days, and you begin to operate within that 14-day window, then you'll really fall into, and I know you probably heard this saying, Rick, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep.
Right.
And so that's when you begin to operate in that 14-day window, then that's when you really gonna hit that stride where your bills is getting paid off, your needs, all your basic necessities is being taken care of, and you able to put money back, put money to the savings, put money to your freedom fund, begin to, create enough cash to where you can begin investing and doing some of these other things that we see wealthy people doing, but we feel like we can't do it because we don't have enough cash or we don't make enough money. I promise you, you make enough money, you just not managing it the right way. So that's kind of what my answer to that question would be, Rick.
And I agree. And I also want to urge not only the caller, but anyone in the audience, is that it's not as important which software you use. I want to urge everyone to educate yourself and learn how to use whatever software you decide to use. Excel may not help you as much as it could if you don't know how to use it properly. Any other CRM, go online, take a training, go on YouTube, watch some videos, see how to interact. I would take it to akin to getting a new cell phone and not reading the instruction manual. You never be able to use the technology and the device to its highest most effective level without having some sort of education and training as far as everything it can do and everything it's capable of. So I agree with you totally. Absolutely. You know,
I was gonna say real quick, Rick. And before we finish that question, I don't want people to feel like it's that complicated to track your expenses and manage your stuff. I mean, it's really just a matter of lists, right? You got a list of, all right, these are my deals in the pipeline. This is how much money I'm gonna make on the deals or the transactions. These are when they're supposed to estimated to close, right? So you can build out a calendar of, all right, this is how much money coming in this day, that day, this day. And then your expenses. Most of us, they do every month, Rick. We know they do every month, like the rent on the first, the car note, the water bill, the gas bill, the credit card bill, whatever you got, your bills is on a monthly frequency. So that. Just lay that out on a calendar and see where the gaps are. We call it a cash gap. See where your cash gap is. Man, if you got your rent, your car note, your car insurance, you got all this stuff coming out the first of the month. But then when you look on your calendar and you're like, man, I ain't got nothing closing around then, then you can better plan and articulate how you're going to operate. How is it going to look practically, you executing on it? Because when people get into this business and they try to take that, when you're coming from a job where every 2 weeks you getting paid, right? First and the 15th, right? You getting that check. Well, you rarely experience the kind of cash gaps that you can experience in real estate, right? Because even if, you know how it is, Rick, you may have a transaction scheduled to close and anything could happen. And man, push that thing 2 weeks back. Hell, even just 1 week back, it may push it. But guess what? That bill collector you ain't pushing that bill back. You gotta pay that, right? Exactly. And here's another thing that a lot of people don't realize is, man, once you get out of rhythm of being able to pay your bills at a particular time, then that again starts eating into your revenue because now you got late fees, right? These late fees is more the interest, right? That you're not taking into consideration. That's eating things up. So it ain't that you got the money, that you don't have the money, or that the money's not coming. Is that because it's not being timed a certain way? Now you're paying more than you would have had to pay if you'd have had the money in place. So that's another thing as it relates to managing your expenses. I would just say managing your money, which includes revenue and expenses. How that can help you cut out on some of the holes that we experience sometimes because we can't manage the cash gap like we need to. So I want to add that little caveat to it.
Oh, no, it's really important that you mention that, Michael, because I think sometimes it's things like that cash gap that cause new agents to be distraught, to suffer from anxiety, and they're not necessarily experienced on how to manage those times. So that was great advice, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I do think that that's something that gets underreported a lot. The great thing about doing this show with you, Michael, is that you're able to not only inform, but also to educate. But this is just a small tidbit or a tip of the iceberg to the type of education and training that new agents and affiliates get when they're a member at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. So could you share with our audience what's going on this week, what type of events are going on, and how they can get involved with the brokerage?
Absolutely, Rick. Absolutely. I'd love to. So, like I said earlier, we do about 5 to 8 events per week. And we love having that level of activity. We want to be active in the marketplace, right? I get a lot of fulfillment out of coaching and teaching and just elements that we're doing, like Monday Night Lives and some of the other things that we do. So I definitely want to invite everybody. Tomorrow, we do a couple of events. We do them live. And now, as of today actually was officially the day that we're going to be streaming live to YouTube. So now we're not just streaming live to Facebook, we're streaming live to YouTube and Facebook. So you guys can check us out on whatever your platform of preference is.
Right.
But tomorrow at 12:30, I invite everybody. I'm going to do another phenomenal interview with the Real to Life podcast, where we bring on real estate professionals. We learn about the other passions that they have in their lives. And I do some coaching on there as well, Rick. We talk about maybe some challenges that my guests may have. So that'll be some great insights. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow at 12:30. We do our mastermind through tough times, which is more of a relaxed environment. You'll see myself and Margaret and our super producer, Jessica Joseph, and we just kind of cut it up a little bit. So we're going to be streaming that tomorrow at 2:30. But then we have a great inspectors training. A lot of realtors, they come in here, man, and they don't really understand that process. They don't understand what they need to be looking for. They may not have even gone on an inspection. So we're bringing in a guy, man, and he's a great teacher. He's going to give us some insights as it relates to understanding the inspection process. So it's actually a lunch and learn. So if you come into the office in person, we'll feed you. But if not, but if you don't come into the office, we got to entice them to come into the office, Rick. Everybody want to do stuff virtually. But we do offer that virtual component as well. So, and then finally, we're doing our Meet the Broker, and everything that I'm talking about, Rick. If they go to the link that's on the screen, they can RSVP, reserve their seat, and then it also lets us know if they're going to participate virtually or in person. But this Thursday, we are doing our Meet the Broker as well. And it's an opportunity, especially when in these real estate schools, they encourage the students to, go out there, meet a broker, ask them some questions, do your interviews. Look, we want to make it easy for them, Rick. Every month, we do a Meet the Broker where you ain't even got to schedule an interview with us. Just come on that date, and then you can bring your questions. We can give you some insights. And it's not even one of those things where you got to consider joining us. Like, you just want to know what to ask the broker, like what to say, what to expect. Because most real estate students don't even know what questions to ask. Like, they don't even know how to interview the broker. They don't really know what it's really all about or the relationship. So it's just another opportunity for them to learn more. And guess what? If you spend time with us and we show you how we support our agents and things like that, and you feel like it'll be a good fit, we absolutely gonna give you an opportunity to join our family. But the Meet the Broker event, we're doing that on Thursday, starting at 5 o'clock. That's another great event. Go to our Facebook business page. If you want to see everything that we have coming up, the entire month of August is already on the Facebook business page. And like I said before, that link that we were showing gives you an opportunity to reserve your seat so you can register for all the things that we have coming down the pipeline, Rick.
And I definitely reiterate what you're saying, Michael. If you're an aspiring real estate professional, if you're currently studying for your real estate exam, if you're newly licensed, if you've been licensed for a while but haven't gotten the footing in the market or in your career that you want, please visit our website at brooksanddavis.com. You can get all the information that you would need about not only becoming a member of the Brooks and Davis family, but it also talks about affiliates, trainings, and all that stuff. So we have education, training, and support. So I definitely invite everyone to go to our website at brooksanddavis.com, because we would love to have you at any of our events, and we definitely would love to mentor and help shape your real estate career. But Coach Mike, man, I want to give you an opportunity to speak to all those potential buyers and sellers out in the market who haven't made a decision on their real estate professional, that they haven't made a decision on if they want to put their house on the market. Can you just share with the audience what we provide at Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm?
Absolutely, Rick, man. I'm so glad that you allow me the opportunity to do such. So look, if you are considering buying a home, let us guide you through the process step by step. Like, you need a professional that's going to hold your hand, that's going to guide you, that's going to do all of that, like not leave anything up to chance or thinking. Let us do that for you. Matter of fact, Rick, we'll schedule. I mean, because, you know, sometimes people want to go out there, they want to look at houses, they have a hard time being able to get into them. We'll schedule showings for you. We'll schedule showings to see any property in the Houston Metroplex. See, a lot of people feel like the only people that can show them a house is the listing agent. That ain't true. We'll do it for you. So give us a call at the number shown to learn more. We're about to show up a number. Give us a call at the office. We can take care of that for you. Or maybe you're considering putting your home on the market for sale, right? Now, we offer a couple of things at no cost. We offer a free neighborhood buying and selling activity report, and that we can email over to you, and which shows you the kind of activity that's going in your particular neighborhood. So we offer that. And we also offer an in-person property condition home evaluation. Again, at no cost. Don't cost you anything. Let one of our professionals come in, and what they're going to do is they're going to look at your house like a buyer would be looking at it, and speak to you of some of the conditions from a conditional standpoint, like decluttering, or maybe paint this, or maybe move this around, or remove these pictures. Like, just give you some insights to make your house more marketable once you put it on the market. So we encourage you, take advantage of that. If you're thinking about putting your house on the market, take advantage of these no cost, these no commitment offers. And Rick, man, we're getting a lot of love, a lot of comments, man. So I definitely want to shout out everybody that's giving us comments, man, showing us love. Mr. Ken Turney, where he talked about agent. Mr. 1409 podcast is in there, giving us some love, man. We definitely want to appreciate you guys. Mr. Chuck Fouts, good friend of ours, man. That boy said Davis and Davis for Davis and Davis in the comments. Yes, I definitely wanted to, you know, shout out all our friends and our fans and our audience, and really supporting us in this new show, man. We're really getting a lot of attention out of it, man.
I want to thank everyone as well, man. Everybody in the comments, man, appreciate the love. All of our clients. I think sometimes we would be remiss if we didn't thank all the clients that have chosen to work with us. It's a pleasure with you all as well. Everyone, if you're in need of consultation, mentorship, do not hesitate. Myself and Coach Mike, we're just a text, inbox, DM, or email. You can always reach out to the office. We're here on Facebook. We're on Instagram. And we are also, like Coach Mike, start going live on YouTube. So be on the lookout for that, man. On behalf of myself, Rick Davis, and Coach Mike, Mr. Michael G. Davis, I want to thank everyone for checking out the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show. Until next Monday, everyone, be blessed.